guys, welcome back for another video. It's been a minute. Yeah, I've needed to have a bit of a break from this whole 5D world, I guess you could call it, and had to jump back into the 3D for a bit. I was really sick, battling with COVID, which I think a lot of people are at the moment. And yeah, just had a lot of stuff like going on personally in my personal life, and just wasn't fully up to scratch to give you guys the best content that I could. Unfortunately, I'm actually sick again, but it's not COVID, so it's not fucking with like all my brain senses and my intuition and stuff like that. But I finally got a minute away from mum life and yeah, just everyday life to do a reading for you guys today. So today we are going to be looking at your divine superpower, like your divine gift, what makes you special, like on a divine level, on like a more of a deeper spiritual level, things that you might not see on a day-to-day basis, or other people might not see. You might recognize it, but or other people might recognize it, vice versa. It can just be just a bit more of a confirmation to you, or it can be just something that you never even knew about yourself on a soul level. So take a minute, look at the cards, the piles, and really tune in to, which one your intuition is drawing you towards the most. So yeah, even if you need to pause the video, just take a second, take a breath, and that really helps like my energy tap into your energy. So if you guys can do that, that'd be great. So yeah, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 as always. Yeah, I'll see you in the first one, guys. Whatever pile you choose. See you in a sec. Hey, pile 1, how's it going? If you chose this cute little guy, the Leo lion, you don't have to be a Leo, but it's always associated with that astrological sign. But my daughter was kind enough to let me use some of her toys for my pick a pile because I'm just like, crystals, now let's switch it up and do something else. Because one thing I might add is I'm not using any tarot today. This is all oracle. I have so many beautiful oracle decks that have just as much, if not more, amazing wisdom in them than tarot does. I'm not going to pick sides. I love them all, but yeah, I just have so many beautiful cards, and I thought it was really fitting to this subject, like this content subject. So yeah, I've put some frequencies on in the background because my neighbours are doing some DIY stuff, like got jackhammers and shit going. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think they're like getting a new driveway or something, but sorry if you hear any of that in advance, but that's why I put the frequencies on, to kind of like drown it out. But anyway, let's get into your guys' reading, because this is a really fucking cool reading. You guys are a really cool pile. One thing I was getting with this, I don't know why this is not going to resonate with everybody, and it doesn't mean that this is or isn't your pile, but I'm getting that you guys might have a lot of hair, like just, if you don't have like long hair, you just have very like thick hair, like you have like a mane, and even like with this woman, she's got like quite long, luscious, beautiful hair, and I don't know, I just feel like you guys just have like a lot of hair going on, and it doesn't mean you're hairy people, but you know what I'm saying. If that resonates with you, that's even cool. That's even more of a confirmation that this is your guys' pile. But all right, let's get stuck into it. So the first card you got was the sacral chakra, core of all creation, number 3, which is beautiful. As we all know, that number 3 does represent, yes, the third chakra, and it does, in numerology, that's like its baseline meaning, is that like 3 is like the root of creation. A lot of artists, a lot of like in the media, like artists, I'm talking like Rihanna, I think off the top of my head, she's a number 3, life path 3 in numerology. There's a bunch of others, just like rappers and pop stars and movie stars and people that are really in their their walk of life of like creation, like they're in like what they're supposed to be doing, and their sole purpose and like why they're here. Not always necessarily being on that path, but like their soul has recognized that, and that's why they're here, and that's like the connection between that. So yeah, you guys got this card. So it also makes me think of like your root chakra, even though the sacral chakra is where, you know, all of like the kundalini like starts to rise through, and that's where like your sexuality lies, and you know, tapping into that healthy like independence and stuff like that. It just makes me think of like you've worked on your root, like the one that comes prior to that, like you know, you're really good at working and moving through the 3D world. You could be like quite successful. Like we're going to move through to these cards and I'll tell you like all of their individual meanings, but the way I'm looking at this and sitting on all of this energy and the way that it's coming through to me is that you are probably quite successful people in the sense of like your financial matters, but at the moment you're starting to see a dip or a decline compared to usual, like what you're usually comfortable with, and it's shaking some things up inside of you to make you kind of like rethink what path you actually want to be on, like what's actually going to not just feed your soul, but you know, give you that financial stability and the abundance and prosperity to you know, give you everything you need in every area. Because as much as like, you know, a lot of these new age spiritual people like to say like, oh, you know, money isn't everything, like it isn't, but there's still obviously a huge need for it. Like everything goes and, you know, moves around money and finances, but it's more about just finding that middle ground. Sorry if I'm rambling again. It's just, again, I've addressed this in other videos, like a lot's coming through these guys, and I am getting quite hot. So yeah, it's this sacral chakra energy, this fire that you guys have inside of you, and it's been sitting dormant in you for a while, and it's starting to yeah, fucking fuel itself again and get bigger and hotter. And like, look at that, that's a beautiful like depiction of it, of what I'm trying to say. And like I feel like you guys are here in that spiral. So like I'll bring the card closer. Wait a second, make sure you guys can see that. In user here in this spiral, like user getting to that, user about to have that like epiphany and turning point moment. That's your root, that's the kundalini, that's the snake, that's representative of that. So yeah, again, I feel like probably you have been quite blessed in your childhood and your upbringing, and just had good examples. And not necessarily saying that you've been in the most ideal situations or anything, but you have had good examples to give you things such as like work ethic, the drive to, you know, build and create things, you know, to communicate with people, to again just really work through this 3D life. But it's, you know, again, when you do that, it's not fulfilling. You need to find something deeper. This card here, 29, I think it's beautiful because it shows you are a beautiful, deep, compassionate soul. Like your rivers, they run deep. You know, you've got lots of layers, like an onion, as they like to say. But yeah, again, you know, your soul's yearning out for your desires, and it says here, do not suppress your desires. Do not suppress your desires. Acknowledge and accept and pray for the fulfillment of your true desires. So instead of like, you know, your conditioning in your childhood again, which I'm saying was, you know, quite ideal, there might have been that flip side of, you know, being told, like, you know, don't be too eccentric, don't be too out there, don't be too flamboyant, don't, you know, have your lines raw, like, don't be too fiery and passionate, like, stop type thing. And that's, you know, then leaked through into your adult life now. And, you know, it's really telling you, like, don't do that. Like, if there's, you know, an inkling in you, or if, you know, you are more spiritually, you know, inclined, which I'm guessing you are, you've picked on a tarot reading that's about, you know, your divine, you know, superpowers, which is quite a, like, out there subject. But listen to that intuition and listen to what it's telling you, and know when that other initial little voice behind you in the back of your head, you know, that little devil on your shoulder is saying, no, people are going to think you're a fucking freak, or they're, you know, they're not going to be receptive to it, or, you know, certain people are going to turn their back on you, you know, that's fear. And, you know, those things may happen, and there's quite a likely chance that they will, but it's like, I've spoken about this so many times on this channel, like, how are you ever going to get, you know, the absolute heights of the bliss if you aren't going to, you know, risk it, basically, and have that opportunity, like, sorry, not opportunity, but have the chance and run the risk of, you know, not fulfilling what you want. And not even that, but, like, running the risk of, what am I trying to get at? Running the risk of, like, losing those things, because you may need to lose those things, and, you know, those belief systems and ways of thinking and being, to, you know, step into your full potential. And that's what this card here is saying, like, throne, your potential is endless. And I think it's, like, kind of great, you know, if you've been really tapping into these ramblings that have been going on. And sorry, just, you know, to break again and pause and talk about myself, as I love to do on this channel. Half the reason I made it. But I feel like over the last month that I haven't done any recordings, like, I've just had so many downloads come through, and not had the like, soapbox and the outlet to, you know, voice that. And it's not even that I don't have it, because obviously I've got this channel, I could have done that, but I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. There was just, like, my intuition, or maybe it was my fear, I don't know. I'm still kind of juggling with that myself in my life at the moment, was telling me, just don't do it, just chill, just rest. And I still do think it was divine, and I still do think that, you know, everything happens for a reason. So I think it's beautiful, and it kind of ties all back into this, because that's what this is saying. Like, yeah, you have your throne. Which one do you want to choose? It doesn't have to be, like, any specific one. Like, this, you know, this one's a mermaid, this one's a witch, and this one's, like, a queen, princess, like, regal figure. So it's just like, you know, what is it, guys? Which one do you want to be? And you can shapeshift. You don't even have to choose. You can just be whichever one that you want to be. So yeah, it's just saying, like, contemplation. Have some time in contemplation. You know, really think about it. Like, think about what your heart wants. And it's not saying, you know, go quit your job tomorrow and fucking throw everything up in the air and be like, oh, nah, I'm going to be, you know, a wild hippie gypsy now, and I'm just going to go live off the beaten path. No, it's not even necessarily saying that. And look, if you want to do that, fucking more power to you. Sorry. More power to you. Like, I'd love to do that, to be honest. But again, it's not always practical. And back to what I was saying at the start, it's not always, you know, what you've been taught. And it's not saying, again, to completely shed every single thing that you know. Like, that's what I really just want to, like, put out there to the world. This is not always what a spiritual awakening is about. Obviously, when you go through the steps of, like, awakening and coming into yourself and connecting with, like, you know, source and divine on a more deeper level, it can be scary, and it can shake up your thoughts and your belief system, and it will do that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to then strip every single thing that you've been taught by your ancestors, by your, you know, your family, by your lineage. It's not saying that. Like, you know, again, everything happens for a reason, and you've been taught these things for a reason, to go on this path, to become this and to become this person. So ultimately, I guess what I'm trying to say, and answering the initial question, nice ramble, Amanda. Answering the initial question of what the title of the video is, of what is your divine superpower, I'd say it is to, you know, burst this light out and to be this beautiful light being and really just, you know, show the world that you can shapeshift and you can change and you don't have to always be set in these constructed ways and ways of being. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to be a successful person because you go off that beaten track. And obviously, like, this is huge at the moment. I feel like a lot of people are doing this and a lot of people are changing into this. So again, it's a collective reading. Like, I don't know how many people are going to be watching this. I've noticed that people tend to go more towards love videos and intimacy videos, which is fine, and I get it, like, but there's so many more other things out there that we need to focus on, you know, before we can get to those intimate, sexual, sacred, you know, soulmate, twin flame type things, and recognizing and having that recognition of our own soul before we can merge into an, you know, into finding our twin or our divine or our kindred and things like that. So but overall, guys, I think you're on the right track. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting at the moment. I'm not getting like anything like too negative or heavy or anything like that. But I just think you need some time to just reevaluate and reshift some things that you may have thought, you know, you wanted and that were going to be like, you know, what you were working towards and manifesting in the be all end all, and, you know, just, you know, taking some things again and changing them up. Not everything, but there may be some little tweaks that you need to do. That's what I'm getting at. But overall, again, beautiful, powerful, amazing fucking people. That's what your divine soul power is. Like, you're strong, and, you know, you've got this fire. I'm getting a lot of fire energy mixed with water. Like, I see these reds and these blues together. So I don't know. These are special people though, and these are very prosperous, regardless of what you do. You know, I'm not saying like go on just any path and any tangent and just go fucking gun ho and just be like, whoa, whatever, like, I don't care. Just, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you do decide to stay on the more conventional path, that's fine. And like, I don't think things are necessarily going to go bad for you, but I don't think things are going to be that fucking amazingly dope either. I think they're just going to kind of stay the same, you know what I mean? And then you're going to wake up in 10, 15, 20 years and be like, what the fuck did I do all this time? Like, I should have listened to that crazy lady on the internet. And again, like, you know, don't have to go quit your job. It can just be like little things like hobbies and passions and little things on the side. You know, we have a long fucking life ahead of us and a long haul ahead of us. Like, obviously, old people aren't going to have that, but most people will, and you'll feel that in your soul once you know, connect with your intuition, and you know, like, settle in and just buckle up for the journey type thing, instead of just being, you know, gun-ho again and just crazy and trigger happy and, you know, doing everything like it's the last day. And it's just like, in moderation, guys, in moderation. That was a bit of a ramble and yeah, fucking whatnot, but we got the messages out in the end, and I feel like, you know, you can take from different parts of that, or you can take the whole thing. That's up to you and whatever resonates with your guys' soul. But I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go on to the next pile. But yeah, thank you, pile one, and like and comment, even if it's just a little emoji down the bottom. Yeah, it really helps my channel grow. And yeah, and again, I'm sorry for being so absent. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. It was needed. And yeah, I love you guys, and thanks for coming. Thank you for listening if you got to this point. Yous have got this. As I always say, yous have got this, and I'm here for y'all. Peace, guys. Love. Hey, pile 2. I'm excited for this one. If you chose the beautiful, mystical, wise elephant that my sweet little girl Mila Moo let me use. She let me use her toys today. She's not here, obviously. That's why I don't really get time to do many videos either, because I'm a single mum, guys. And yeah, unless you want a little scallywag running around in the background, hootin' tootin', then yeah, that's just, it's not happening. It's not happening when she's around. I gotta wait till she goes to her grandparents or wherever she goes. Anyway, yeah, welcome guys, welcome back. I'm so excited because I'm telling you right now, like when I seen these cards and when I channeled this energy, I was like, yes, yes, yous are my people. This is my pile. Like, I love all my piles and love to everybody, but yous guys are just, yous are different. Yous are really different. I'm going to tell you why, obviously. We're going to get to that. But the first thing I just want to point out, which I was just like, what? When I seen it, was number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Which is like prosperity and abundance, and you got the abundance card. I just think like that's hilarious. Anyway, funny little Simpsons little thing in there. Does anyone remember that episode? Yeah, any of my Simpsons lovers out there? When Barney dates that like weird she's not even weird, she's just like artistic chick with like that beret on her hair. She's like, I think she's Japanese or something. And they go record him like burping and he's like, number 8 burp, number 8 burp. Anyway, you guys might love The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons. Who doesn't love The Simpsons? It is the best ever. Anyway, yous guys are fucking rockin'. Yous are rockin', yous are poppin'. That's your divine superpower. Yous are like, for the fucking, you know, without sounding like an absolute douchebag, yous are woke. Yous are motherfucking woke. Yous are the woke pile, alright? So, yous got third eye chakra, pineal perspective. Pfft, I'm not even going to start questioning that whoever chose this pile is obviously a deeper, wiser soul that's more in touch with the divine and, yeah, opening up their chakras, working with their third eye chakra, working with all their chakras in a holistic motion to fuel that third eye chakra. Like you've worked up the chakras. That's how I like to see it with chakras. I feel like you work up them. So once you've worked on that root, you go up to, you know, sacral, so on and so forth, you know, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and then crown. So you're going to be moving on to crown soon, guys. That's probably the next cycle and phase of your life, which isn't always very comfortable. It's a bit like, what now? You know what I mean? And if you really one of those people that suffer from like ascension symptoms, you get a very touchy head. Like the actual crown of your head will get very touchy and just sore and not very comfortable. Or it might feel like electrified and like just buzzing and kind of hot and on fire type thing. But we're talking about third eye at the moment anyway, so yous will get there, but that's just a little bit of a sign if, like, you know, later down the track you start to feel those and you feel like you're going into that, that's, you know, most likely what that is. But yeah guys, your third eye chakra with ancestors, I cannot pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to butcher the beautiful word that is. But underneath it says sweet paradox of empowering grace, which I think is just hilarious, like for this pile, because I feel like when you get to this stage of like your awakening and where you at and like your soul's path, it's like everything is kind of paradoxical, and that's kind of, without sounding like a douche again and like, you know, a know-it-all, it's like that's kind of what it is, and that's what the whole world kind of is. It's just the yin-yang effect of the snake eating its own tail, like the kundalini, like, you know, that's what it is. It's a fucking paradox. And like, I love to say this to my friends who are parents, or like friends who ask me, you know, like, how is parenting, like how would you describe it without getting too deep and far into it, it's a fucking paradox. It is a paradoxal fucking head fuck that is beautiful and amazing, and an amazing grace, like an empowering grace. Like, it's so beautiful and amazing, and you can't even put it into words sometimes. And like the love you feel, like in your core, it rocks you like in an amazing way. But on a 3D level, like, you've got this fucking kid who doesn't, listen. And again, it's not even that they're not listening. It's again another paradoxal thing. It's like, we've been conditioned and been told to, like, sit down and shut up type thing. And it's like, you're doing it like unconsciously. And it's not even like if you want to do it or if your soul wants to do it, you just do it because it's too much, because, and that's again another a paradoxal thing. And that's kind of like where you guys are at the moment. So you're probably just like, what's this bitch on about? Like, I'm popping and I'm locking and I'm dropping and I'm, fucking, it's awesome at the moment. Because it's not. Well, it is, guys. It is. Because I'm telling you right now, it is so much better to see the world through that lens than to not see it at all and to be on autopilot mode. And, just be going through the motions. Like, this is a blessing. It's an actual blessing. And I just want to look at this card for a second. When I see this, like, sacred geometry down the side, it really, like, to me, depicts a beautiful picture of what a spiritual download would look like. And yeah, again, like, no doubt you guys are getting a lot of downloads, even if you don't recognize that they are downloads or not. But that's definitely what is happening for you guys now on a soul level, on a conscious level. Like, consciously you're receiving them, not just unconsciously, and then later on down the path, like, deciphering them. It's like you're starting to get that trigger and that hit and being like, yep, that's right. Like, I know that's a download and that's nothing else, and it's no more, no less. Like, but this card here is really telling you to embrace your wild side, like your beautiful wild side. It says, do not be afraid to reveal your wild side. Embrace all aspects of your personality to live a truly fulfilling life. And again, like, I think that's really, like, goes back into what I was just saying. Like, don't be shy to bring out those more negative aspects of yourself, or what society portrays as negative aspects, like, especially if you're a woman. And like, us women not even just women, but like that feminine energy has been very suppressed over the last few fucking 100 centuries. Not even, like, we go back to shamanistic times, and like the feminine was really just like put on a pedestal, not even put on a pedestal, but was worshipped, you know what I mean? It was the other way around. But we're not going to get into all that paganistic fucking political hoo-ha at the moment. But yeah, it's just saying, like, don't suppress that, guys. And I have a feeling like you probably aren't, but there's still that, your shadow side wants to come out, you know what I mean? And that's okay. You're allowed to expose that side. Like, and I really feel like, you're here, and like your reason and purpose for being here, and that divine superpower that you really hold, is to, break free from those molds and unshackle from those chains, and, show the world the beautiful, witchy, like. And again, this is not gender-based, like, witches are not male or female. Like, it's, again, like, more of an energy and a way of life and a way of living and perceiving things. But, really stepping into that, like, more spiritual side. And that's what I was getting when I was channeling this. So, you got different levels to this shit. You got different types of levels. And then now, in this day and age with, social media and aesthetics and trends and stuff like that, there's different levels to that shit. And to this shit. And it's like, some people are, spiritual, but then there's like woke people. And that's where, again, just because of trends, it sounds like really douchey to say that, but it's the truth. Like, there's spiritual people out there. Everybody is a spiritual person. Like, we're all spiritual beings living, like, having a human experience. But you guys really are, that embodiment of like a goddess, like an earth angel type thing. I really feel like that's what I'm getting from you guys, really earth, you know, angel, like you're really in touch with that divine. And yeah, he's a sweet, like no matter what you do in life and what avenue you choose to go down, you're gonna be abundant because you have this mindset. You know, you have that holistic mindset. It's not just all black and white. So even those days where you are down and, you know, things aren't ideal and there's, you know, shitty, horrible situations, it's like you can still feel that there's lessons coming out of it and there's that divine, and, you know, you can counteract that with your downloads and, you know, your dreams and your intuitive nature and things like that. So yeah, you are abundant and successful regardless. It doesn't mean you know, have this really high title in your workforce, but just know that you could, and you can. Like if you choose to do that, you can, because you are that powerful. But I love this card. I think it's beautiful, and it's I like that it's sitting next to the elephant as well. I feel like it's very fitting and just like perfect for the reading. But you got lavender, surround yourself with love. So I'd say, just even on a simple note, guys, like surround yourself with some lavender, because it's beautiful. It is like the loving, calming, relaxing aroma, like in aromatherapy note, you know, to help you relax and, you know, feel that love, not even just from other people and external forces, but from yourself, your own love and your own, you know, caring nature, and, you know, how much far you've come in your life, and, you know, all these things that you've thought and felt aren't wrong, they're right. And it's all, you know, coming together and answering your higher calling and who you are. And it's beautiful. And I've noticed as well, there's quite a lot of animals, birds as well. You might be really in touch with birds. They might be like one of your spirit animals, because yeah, there's like an eagle here, there's that hummingbird here, and then there's a little cat down there as well. And then obviously we got the elephant. But yeah, you guys, you have got this. And like, I feel like whenever you do have any doubts anyway, you can just call on your ancestors. They're there. You're so divinely protected, and that's what spirit's telling me right now. Like, tell them that we are there for them. Like, they are there for you whenever you need them. And you know this, but this is just confirmation, guys. This is just confirmation that you're sweet. Like, even the shit is good because you understand the paradox of it all. Like, I don't need to speak anymore. Yous have got this. So yeah, just I'm gonna end it here for yous. And what a fucking cool reading. And I love yous guys. And like and subscribe and send this to anybody that you know might benefit from it. And even if you just put a little comment, an emoji comment of what pile you chose, because I'd love to know who chose this pile. If I don't already know you personally, I'd love to, because yeah, we're cool people. Like, Soul Tribe, love ya. You are here for a reason. I'm not just fucking saying that. You clicked on this video for a reason. We are supposed to connect. So peace, bless, love yous guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Pile 3, last but not least. If you guys chose this beautiful giraffe that my daughter let me use, I've said that with every pile, so sorry if you chose another pile and you're like, she's saying it again. But yeah, my daughter let me use her toys, which is not really, you know, doesn't happen often these days, because she's a little sassy monster. She's just coming out of her terrible 2s, going into the 3 stage, and yeah, she's just being very sassy, and I'll be like, can mummy have that? And she's like, no, no, it's mine. And then I'll get sad, like pretend to get sad, and she'll be like, oh, okay, you can have it. So we're at that stage, that's where we're learning with her. But I feel like that's kind of relevant to this pile, guys, because I feel like, you know, maybe you've been going through like a lot of childhood stuff. Maybe not right at this time, like you're starting to come out of the other end of it, but yeah, it's been very like evident in your life and very relevant. I just want to say, first of all, like, my energy has shifted quite a lot from the other piles, and I just want to give you guys a huge hug, because I feel this, like, what I'm about to talk about and tell you guys, I feel this on levels, like in my soul myself. So um, that's obviously why I'm here giving you guys this message. So yeah, let's get started. Where do I start? How do I start this? So we'll just go with the first card. So She of the Lotus. I think like this is going to be a pretty big, you know, brief description of all of these put into one, but this is beautiful. Like the other two piles got chakra cards. You actually got one of the oracle from the deck, which is a beautiful beautiful deck. I don't even remember what it's called now. Something about Lemuria. So you might recognize as that without getting, you know, too much on that whole galactic side of things. But that may be something that you're just starting to recognize or have recently come into, that, you know, you have like a very, very old soul that's transcended through many a lifetimes. That might be like what you're having that realization of now that you're coming out of this like outer shadow work, because that's really what this card depicts. It's like She of the Lotus. I'm not sure if you know about, you know, the concept and the whole story behind the lotus flower, but it grows from mud. It that's how they grow. They're these beautiful, intricate, almost, you know, imperfectly perfect flowers that grow from mud. They need mud to grow, so they come from the dark, sludgy depths of things. And you know, that's a beautiful depiction of like probably what your soul journey has been in this like incarnation. And I think it's really fitting that you chose the giraffe, because they are, you know, a bit out of place. Like, it's not that they're out of place, like they're beautiful. They're their own amazing, like great, grand, beautiful thing. But you know, compared to everything else like that you see in the size of proportions in animals, like they're the tallest ones, and they, you know, they soar high. And it's just like, well, that's what I feel like you're gaining, and that's what your superpower is. Like your divine superpower from all of this is like you're a true alchemist, like really in your like soul, like the depths of your soul. Like you're an alchemist, because that's what you've done. You've really turned whatever's happened in your earlier life into something quite beautiful. And like you could have given up, so many times, and you may have, and that's fine, but you didn't completely give up, because you're still here, you know what I mean? And you're here now, and you're listening to this, and you've come across this, whether I know you on a personal level or, you know, you're on the other side of the world and we've never met before. You know, you're here for a reason to hear this message, and that's what it is. It's that you are like whatever shit and turmoil and sludgy depths in that mud, in those dark voids, has propelled you into this beautiful being and this beautiful person. And you know, again, yeah, this beautiful being in this carnation. And it's just like, one thing I really want to address about that, again, I do talk about this quite a lot, but I feel like it may not sink into people's heads what I'm actually saying. But it's like, the further of the, like, that you go down into those depths, and the more of a void that you create, it actually makes more potential and more of a void for love and light to go in. So if you're only always staying in a really slimlined, you know, way, it's only ever going to be this narrow amount for, yes, pain. You're in a safe space for not so much pain to come in, but you're in this safe space where unfortunately not as much light's going to come in. So the void that's been created now allows for that, you know, yes, shit to be more shit, but for light to be more light. And I feel like I really addressed this in the previous pile, so I feel like maybe you might have been a bit drawn to that as well, so you can go back and listen to it. But this is one thing when you come into this awakening, and when you start to, you know, go down the levels of an awakening, is that like everything's quite paradoxical anyway. So okay, I'll talk about things on a bit more personal level from me, and it might resonate with you. Recently, my beautiful, sweet dog, Onyx, my beautiful girl, my Rottweiler, she passed away. I had to say goodbye to her, and it crushed my soul. But I'm not saying, but like, you know, there's any good positive thing to it apart from, you know, she's not in pain now. So that's again a paradoxical thing. So I'm, you know, shooting myself in the foot by saying that there's nothing, because there is a positive thing. Like, she's not in pain anymore. She doesn't have to be in this carnation in pain. And, you know, me keeping her here in pain is not serving her, it's serving me. It's her soul serving something else and not serving her higher calling, because it's like her soul's obviously meant to transcend. And it crushed me. And this isn't the first thing I've obviously lost in my life. I've lost a lot of things, but on a deeper soul level, as you know, a younger person, I did lose my grandmother, I lost my father, I've, you know, loved and lost in a lot of relationships. And what I'm getting at, and like what I'm saying is, now that I've awoken more and, you know, come into my, you know, more divine being and perspective and, you know, way of looking at the world and looking at, you know, things in a 3D and a 5D sense, I can now see that, like, it's not as painful as when I wasn't awoken to that. That's what I'm getting at. That's basically what I'm getting at with you guys. So, you know, it might seem like a curse, but it's actually a blessing. And I feel like you guys know this on a soul level. Like, you understand this. This, again, is just confirmation. I feel like this whole video is very just much confirmation for everybody, because I feel like, you know, I'm at a point with my creating of content that I'm attracting people that are only supposed to be here, and they're gonna have this mindset. So yes, I've kind of gone on a bit of a ramble with that card, but it kind of just, it all just seeps into this again. And I really feel like, yes, your divine superpower is to be an alchemist, and not only just to be the alchemist, but to show that to the world. It's not even to just have that knowledge for yourself, but to, you know, show it to the world, because like, you got the channel message. So I feel like you are, you know, very susceptible to receiving, you know, channeled messages from either spirit, depending on, you know, where you're at on your path, or if you just, you know, receive downloads and messages and angel numbers and just little confirmations from the universe, which, mind you, don't get me wrong, that never goes away. Once you're there, it stays forever. So be prepared for these things. Don't be daunted by it. They're amazing and they're beautiful, and they'll only ever aid you, and you'll only ever get given what you can handle. But this card here, I'm saying that because this card, visible, what is visible is often not the truth. Look underneath appearance to find out what is true. That's what I'm getting at. Like, my first initial, you know, hit from spirit was saying, like, visible, they need to take what they've gone through and turn it into some type of art, into something creative, into something, again, on an alchemy level. Like, what are you now going to do with this? Are you going to, you know, just throwing a few ideas out there, write a book? Are you going to, you know, start working in counseling services and helping people in, you know, areas that you've gone through with your life experience? You know, are you gonna go to a support group and, you know, voice these things and heal yourself on even more of a soul level? Like, these are just a few things. That's not necessarily always what you have to do. You know, you might start a blog or something like that. That's really what Spirit's saying to me. Like, that's, you know, it's like, what are you going to do with that alchemy now? Like, you're a master alchemist. You have the potential to do so many fucking things. So do it, because you know what? You're protected and you have the ability to channel. So I'm not saying, you know, go fucking become a psychic and get a little gypsy cart and go start going around. You can if you want to. Again, I said something similar in a previous pile about a different thing, but like, if you know, you want to, good on you, like, more power to you. But it's just saying, like, you have that ability to use that, and you know, you're protected by the divine, and you know, you have the ability to get in touch and channel with that because of the shit that you've gone through. And that's usually the case. Like, people do have spontaneous awakenings, but it's very rare. Like, usually you have to go through fucking shit and turmoil and torture and pain, and just horrible fucking shit to have these beautiful awakenings. It again goes back to what I was saying about the void before. So yeah, here, rare intersection of heaven and earth. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what you've got to experience from going through these things. But you've got, you know, beautiful energy, and you know, you're a beautiful being, and I really feel like you're really starting to get in touch with that side of you that just, you know, succumbs and to the divine flow of things, and you know, mother nature and Gaia, and just really tapping in and just having those pause brief moments of just feeling it in your soul and connecting and just doing it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you know what I'm saying. I can't even like verbalize it properly, but you know what I'm saying. If you're here at this point in this reading, you know what I'm getting at. But we'll start to wrap it up. We'll get to the last card here. What's this say? Library. Take control of your own narrative. Again, like, you do you, boo. Like, you do it the way that it's coming to you, because you're protected. You can, again, you've got the ability to channel from spirit. So whatever comes across to you, whatever's calling you to you know, alchemize what you've gone through, what you're going to go through, because again, it's not going to ever stop. It's always going, it's always healing, it's always evolving, it's always changing. There's always those cycles of going in and out, the ebbs and flows, but it's just saying, what are you going to do with it now? Like, how are you going to keep alchemizing and alchemizing to, you know, fill that beautiful void of love and light, because, you know, you're a beautiful light being. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. I think that's the message that's being channeled through. That was again another bit of a ramble, but yeah, I feel yous guys. I feel yous guys on levels. I really do. So if you feel comfortable, please comment just a little emoji. I don't even know if they have giraffe emojis. Surely they would. If not, you can just pile through, whatever. Just let me know. Because, yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love and light. And if I can identify you, you know, in the comment section, and I know what you've come and listened to, I can, you know, channel even more love and light towards you and blessings. So, yeah, and obviously it helps grow the channel. So if you know anybody else that could benefit from this, then, yeah, please send it their way. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I need to get through to you guys. I don't think so. I think yous have got this. Yous are very, you know, yous have been through a lot, which has given you a lot of answers in life. So never really see it as a bad thing, even though it was a bad experience. You know, it's made you who you are, and you're a beautiful, 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 beautiful light being. An alchemist, true alchemist. So I'm going to leave that there, pile 3, and wrap up the reading. And yeah, thank yous and love yous, and have a good day or night wherever you are. Peace.